We tend to put off all of those dreams that we have and all those things that are on our bucket list until later in life because we think that we have so much time. But what you have to realize is that we only have so much time, and you're never going to be younger than you are right now. And so, what we have to do is we have to remind ourselves that one day we will die. And when we really sit with that reality, it offers us an opportunity to just let go and live life in the moment. I'm going to walk you through a really good practice of what I'm talking about. So, what I want you to do is, I want you to close your eyes for a second, and I want you to imagine that you're laying on your deathbed and you're 85 years old and you're hooked up to all these machines and you're bedridden. You could barely move, you could barely walk, or no, you can't walk actually, and you could barely even eat and talk and stuff like that. And I want you to imagine yourself on that deathbed, what that would feel like. And then I want you to imagine that you're sitting on that deathbed and you're thinking about your past self. You're thinking about yourself when you were 20 years old and how active you are and how young you were and how mobile you were and all of the blessings that you have. And you think to yourself all the things that you would do just to go back and experience life when you were young again. And then I want you to push an imaginary button. And this button flashes you from that old bedridden version of yourself to that current day you. And I want you to sit with that feeling of how you've basically restarted. You're given a new, fresh perspective of how grateful you should truly be just to be living right now, healthy, alive. And this practice should serve as a reminder to just let go of the fear that you're experiencing and the excuses that you're telling yourself. Just let go of all of that, because that doesn't actually matter at the end of the day. Your excuses don't matter. Your fear is not real. You see, you have to reframe the way that you think about failure. Failure isn't absolute defeat. It's a lesson or a redirection as long as you fall forward. And really successful people, it's not that they don't fail. It's actually because they failed more times than you could even attempt to think of or attempt to try. The more successful someone is it's usually in a direct ratio of how many times they've failed and gotten back up. So the way that you increase your success rate is actually increasing your failure rate. And what you have to realize is that failure is a necessity. You need to fail in order to learn, in order to improve. And through that learning and that improvement, that's when you actually start succeeding. People are so scared to take risks, but risk is usually a fallacy because you don't have anything. You aren't risking anything because you don't have anything to lose in the first place. And you need to ask yourself, are you living the best version, the best life that you could be living right now as a person? Most likely not. So you should be risking fucking everything in order to try to achieve that. You see, challenges are just opportunities for you to become that best version of yourself. And if you're faced with a challenge and you fail, who fucking cares, dude? You're just right back in the place where you started. You didn't lose anything. Maybe your ego took a little bit of a hit, maybe you wasted a little bit of time, but you didn't really lose anything. And if anything, you gained something. You gained experience, you gained perspective. And that experience and that perspective will help you later down the line. Maybe you don't see it instantly, but later down the line, that will help you. And it's just a matter of time. Things are always working in your favor, but sometimes it just takes time to realize that. And the last thing you have to realize is that whatever bad outcome that could happen, it's never the end of the world, bro. And you just have to reassure yourself that it's always going to be okay in the end. We tend to think that everything's life and death, but in reality, we're just overthinking it. And we never know when our last day on earth is, because life is not guaranteed. So we just need to start now. That's all we could do. And if you need help with managing fear, becoming your most confident self, I could help you with that. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below, and check the description. Thank you, bro.